Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're talking about something that, again, I wouldn't normally just come out and say, because I know the top talents in the league and I know the top talents in the world too, but now I just want to look at it. I want to put it in consideration, really. Is Phil Foden the best Premier League player right now? Like, in terms of on form and just, we know he has the talent. The talent is not questionable. It's just, is he the best? And we're going to go off all comps because I think that is fair. And to be fair, there's a couple of players that I didn't include on this graphic that I maybe could have, but at the time of making this graphic, I won't lie, I just didn't think of them. I was really thinking about players that are highly renowned as some of the best players in the world, So you might think, why isn't Ollie Watkins on here and whatnot? Because Ollie Watkins having a fabulous season, but he's just not on there because I didn't think of him at the time, and he probably could be on there. But some players on here are highly regarded as the best in the world. And I really want to look at that. In terms of Phil Foden, because I think he's up there. I think he's displayed the levels to prove he's up there. And without further ado, let's just get into it. He's 23 years old. Okay, so he's so young. He's easily got maybe at 10 years. 10 years if he keeps going the way he's going. If he keeps at City, keeps taking care of himself, not getting himself in trouble, nothing like that. Just keeps it under check and everything like that. He's easily progressing to be incredible. 28 GNA this season. I'm pretty sure it might be City's second highest player in terms of GNA. Haaland has got more. I think he's got like 33, something like that. So, in there, he is behind Haaland, but Haaland is just a goal machine. He is a machine, Should have won the Ballon d'Or, that's how good he is. But anyway, he's had 28 goal contributions. If you want that specifically, I think we're looking at 18 goals, 10 assists. So, easily good variety, a good goal scorer for City quite clearly. Seems to be his main trait, but he's also just a creator. His versatility is incredible. He can play on both wings. He did a great job there. Played there against United and got 2 goals against them, didn't he? And he played on both wings against United. He didn't, because he got the first one on the right wing, scored that absolute belter. And then the second one, he switched to the left wing as opposed to Bernardo being on the left wing, and he went and scored again. So he could do it on both wings. He's shown that, and he's shown that in the big games too. And he's just brilliant. Doing it in the big games. I remember a couple of seasons ago he scored against Liverpool at Anfield. And, his record against Liverpool isn't even that bad either. I'm pretty sure he's got a good couple of goals under his belt. By the way, GNA versus Big Six, that is only this season. He's got 4 this season. So there is still room to improve for this season. That's not his overall career stats in terms of against the Big Six. But yeah, against the Big Six, I think he's done good. Look, everyone against Arsenal had a bad game. Well, we didn't play bad. We just weren't good. We were just okay. It came to a point where we looked like we were just playing for a point, which isn't acceptable as City, but that's what it came to. But other than that game, Spurs, he got an assist. Chelsea was just a wild match. That was just insane. Chelsea at home, he wasn't brilliant that game, but he was still helping out. He was trying to create stuff, and look, he did create stuff, which is the bottom line. Erling Haaland just couldn't score. Liverpool, I can't remember. It's going a while back. He may not have even started, but he started a lot of games this season, Foden. But that's not my main talking point. I could come out with a statement on my channel and I could say, Phil Foden is better than Mo Salah. That's not me saying that. I'm just saying. I could say that, and people might go, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Mohamed Salah, he's been playing at the top level for years," which he has been, and he's brilliant. Mohamed Salah is honestly spectacular player. But in terms of this season, okay, and we all know Phil Foden's got that talent. This has been his best season by a long way. Last season he got 23 goal contributions. This season by March he's on 28, and he's still got tons of games to go. He's got 12 games left in the Prem, 11, so he can easily get more. He'll break 30, that's for sure. But yeah, he's brilliant. But on the player comparison, this is all comps, so I'm not going all comps for Foden and then just Premier League for other players. I'm going off all competitions here. Starting with Bukayo Saka, a player that Phil Foden often gets compared with. Look, I don't think Phil Foden is miles clear of Saka, but I do think he is an overall better talent than Saka. I saw Mark Goldbridge say that Phil Foden doesn't get in Arsenal's team. I completely disagreed. But on the right wing, he said that he wouldn't get on the right wing over Saka. And if I'm being honest, I don't think he would either. Because Arteta is smart enough to know that Phil Foden is a midfielder. He's worked with Phil Foden. Phil Foden would go in that midfield with Martin Odegaard. Imagine that. Martin Odegaard, Phil Foden, Declan Rice midfield. I don't want to imagine that because I can only see that happening in Arsenal shirts because two of them play for Arsenal. But that just sounds incredible. Arsenal would tear up the league with that midfield. But he's not an Arsenal player, thank the Lord, and I probably wouldn't be making this video if he was. I probably would end up making it if you want the truth. But Phil Foden, in my opinion, he's an overall better player than Saka. I know Saka's got one more GNA than him, but Phil Foden has I just think he's another level. Technically, he's brilliant. Touch is brilliant, and he's just got everything into his game. I remember the first game of the season, Burnley. Okay, I don't know if he started against Community Shield Arsenal, but Burnley, you're bound to be a little rusty. Okay, come back into the Prem, first game back. Alright, you can expect the gears to not just be quite turning yet. One of the first things I can remember him doing is doing an absolutely ridiculous skill move and almost scoring a beautiful goal. And that's like the first thing I can remember him doing. And that's not even the first time. He hasn't done that specific skill move in a while, or maybe even since. But he's done so many others. And skillfully, he's brilliant. His touch is brilliant. Dribbling is brilliant. His passing is good too. He hasn't got that many assists for nothing. He probably could have had another one. He probably could have had 29 GNA if he'd assisted Haaland. And if he had a tad better finish against Onana, he could have had 30 GNA. But I'm not here to talk about the coulds, woulds, shoulds. I'm here to talk about what is it. The facts, He's on 28 GNA, whether we like it or not. And he's done brilliantly to get to that. Going on to Jude Bellingham, okay? You might be shocked to see that I've thrown him in here, but Jude Bellingham has been highly regarded as a Ballon d'Or contender for this season. He's going to go all the way, and he might even win the Ballon d'Or. He might, if Real Madrid win the trophies they need to, La Liga, UCL, and whatever cups there are there, he could very well win the Ballon d'Or. But if Phil Foden does that, why shouldn't he? Okay, if they both keep having this neck and neck season, and they finish the season on brilliant goal contribution levels, surely Phil Foden deserves to be in that conversation. He's at the point where I feel like you can make the argument that Phil Foden's better than Jude Bellingham. Okay, I'm not saying that for sure. I think Jude Bellingham is brilliant. I take him in a heartbeat at City. But Phil Foden, he is absolutely brilliant. And if we're talking that highly of Jude Bellingham, I feel like we have to be talking that highly of Phil Foden. Phil Foden, the positions he can play and how he performs in every position he does play. attacking midfielder is definitely where his best position is. And some people might say, Jude Bellingham's is a number 8. The fact that he's gotten this amount of goal contributions as a number 8 is wild. And you are right, Bellingham has been ridiculous to get the amount of goal contributions that he has. But I would like to mention, he has played a lot of games at Cam for Real Madrid. He's not been a number 8 for Real Madrid. He's been playing at Cam. That has been his main position. I know at Dortmund he was a centre midfielder, but since joining Real Madrid, he has definitely been a Cam. I've watched a lot of highlights of him, of course I have, because I admire the player. I think he's that good. And he is definitely a Cam. He is. So they play similar positions. Phil Foden sometimes plays a little bit higher up the pitch, but overall, Phil Foden even drifts into midfield sometimes when he's on the right wing. You can't really glue him down to a position. They both play in similar areas. That's my point. And I just think that they are neck and neck in terms of quality, in my opinion. Going on to Mo Salah. In terms of who I think is the better player here, it is Mo Salah. Okay, overall it is Mo Salah. I think Phil Foden's done brilliantly to be only 1 goal contribution behind him. Mohamed Salah's the best right winger in the league, that's for sure. He's having a brilliant season at Liverpool, even with injury. Liverpool been without him for a good chunk of time now. I know he scored against Brentford off the bench, but I'm pretty sure he's gotten injured recently. So, you know, even with injuries, he's brilliant because that's the kind of player he is, and you know that he's only going to keep it up. But Salah is highly regarded as potentially the best right winger in Premier League history. That's just the truth. And then I know Phil Foden's obviously not the best midfielder in Premier League history, but the fact that he's producing these numbers at his age, that's the brilliant thing here. I think I don't love Mo Salah, but I think he's a brilliant player. Okay, he's been doing it at Liverpool since 26 years old, something like that. And all props to him. He's been unplayable at times, and has probably been Liverpool's most consistent player, bar Alisson. And I would say Van Dijk, but he has had patches. You know, he has had patches of bad form. You know, last season wasn't too great. So, but I'm not going to go in Van Dijk on that because he's one of the best centre-backs in Premier League history, I think it's fair to say. So I'm not going to dig at Van Dijk. He is brilliant. But I think at Phil Foden's age, Salah wasn't at Liverpool doing this at Phil Foden's age. And the fact that Phil Foden is doing this at his age, it just means that I feel like in 5 years you could be saying, Phil Foden, what a player. He's been doing it since, his early 20s. And you can't say that for Mo Salah. I think that Mo Salah is a better player, that's not what I'm suggesting, but I feel like you could look in 5 years and say, oh, he's so good. He's one of the best players in Premier League history, maybe. Vinicius Jr., in fairness to him, okay, you guys should know how highly I rate him. I did a video a while ago rating the top 20 best players in the UCL. I said Vinicius Jr. is the best player in the world. I put him at number 1 because I think he is that brilliant, and I still do. This season, it has been a bit unlucky for him, a lot of injuries, but nonetheless, he's still pulling in good goal contributions. And a fellow teammate, Jude Bellingham, is having a better season than him. But I just think you can put him in this conversation. Because last season, Vinicius got like 42 goal contributions. Incredible season. And if Phil Foden can keep going the trajectory he's going, he could look at those numbers. And if you look at those numbers for Vinicius last season, people were saying he was one of the best players in the world last season, which he was. Surely you can say the same for Foden. Surely. He is absolutely brilliant. just like Vinicius was last season. Not that Vinicius hasn't been as good this season, but injuries haven't helped him. And Phil Foden has been injury ridden. No, not ridden. The opposite of ridden. Last season, Phil Foden had injuries and it kept him out of the team at times. But this season, he has basically been injury-free, touch wood. I would hate to see him get injured. But yeah, hopefully Phil Foden can just keep going the trajectory he is going and keep himself compared to players like Vinicius and Salah and Jude Bellingham and Saka. Going on to the other side. Martinelli, I won't spend long on him. This season has been poor by his standards. 11 goal contributions in all comps. It's not been great this season for Martinelli. You know, I think an Arsenal fan would tell you that. He's had moments of goodness. I think Phil Foden gets on the left wing over Martinelli as well. They're somewhere. Not that Martinelli's bad. He'd be a great option to have on the bench. But Phil Foden is just another level. But Gabriel Martinelli, 11 GNA. Phil Foden has smashed it out of the park this season and has gotten more goals than that, and is one assist away from having the same amount of goal contributions Martinelli has. I know stats aren't everything, and they aren't, you know. But if we're going on stats, Mbappe, Saka, and Salah are better players than Phil Foden. But stats aren't everything. But this is just to give you an idea of how good Phil Foden is, and how good these other players are around him. And, you know, we call them some of the best in the world. Isn't it not right to say the same for Foden at this point? But going on to Mbappe, look, Mbappe is a better player than Phil Foden. Okay, don't need to spend long on that. His goal contributions are insane. He's almost got 40, and it's just turned March. And all of that of having a mixed season with PSG, getting subbed off a lot because I don't know why. I'm pretty sure the club aren't happy that he wants to leave at the end of the season. Boo-hoo. You know, get out of there, Kylian Mbappe, honestly. Get to Real Madrid, because that is the only way you're going to win a Ballon d'Or. But, you know, that is just to put into perspective. Phil Foden is not even far off Kylian Mbappe in goal contributions. I know 11 is a lot to be off, and I know Kylian Mbappe is only going to keep going up. But I'm not even saying you should put them in the same conversation, but I thought I'd throw him in to show it's a bit closer than you might think, you know? Going on to Florian Wirtz. I've thrown him in because Bundesliga, he's top of there. He's brilliant. City even want this guy in the summer, apparently, according to certain sources and that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do, because he looks brill from what I've seen of him. Again, he's another attacking midfielder, similar position to Foden. 25 goal contributions this season for Leverkusen. He's been very consistent for them as well. I'm pretty sure he's got over 100 goal contributions in Bundesliga. Don't quote me on it, but I think he does. And this season, he's looking to be a Bundesliga champion, to dethrone Bayern Munich after years at the top. Thank the Lords. I hope they don't bottle it like Dortmund did last season with Jude Bellingham. That's not a dig. That is not a dig whatsoever. But Florian Wirtz, he's a great player, and I hope City do get him. I think he'd be a great addition to the team, and maybe he's the right guy to replace Kevin De Bruyne as well in the future. I'd never want KDB to leave. But going on to Jamal Musiala now, the 8th and final player I have on this little list of mine. He is brill. Last season was phenomenal. I think he had 36 goal contributions. Phil Foden's only 8 away from that. This season, he's not been poor, but he's only got 13 GNA. I'm pretty sure Jack Grealish got more than that last season for City. So, this season has not been fantastic from Jamal Musiala. I know he apparently is having contract issues with Bayern Munich, and to be fair, this season just hasn't been fantastic from Bayern Munich on a whole. Second in Bundesliga by a long way, and they've been smashed a couple of times. Well, not a couple of times. They've been smashed by by Leverkusen at a certain point this season. So he is brilliant. Jamal Musiala, again, another player I take at City. Maybe not off the back of this season. Maybe he needs to have another season. But yeah, I think he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So you might see it. He's either got 1 or 2. I think he'll have 2 because I don't think Bayern Munich would let it get to 1. But there you go. I hope you maybe think that there is a conversation to be had here. I'm not outright saying Phil Foden's the best player in the Premier League. I think this season, though, I think he's the best in the league. It's such a difficult statement, and I don't want to jinx the lad, but I think in 2024 he certainly has been the best player in the Premier League. He's been absolutely stunning, and I hope he keeps it up. Touch wood again. I never want him to stop. You know, he's one of the first names on the team sheet for City. First name on the team sheet is probably Rodri. Then it's between Haaland, KDB, and Foden. I genuinely feel that's who it's between. And if Phil Foden keeps going the way he's going, then you're looking at him for player of the season, maybe. Big up everyone who tuned into this. I hope you maybe think there's a conversation to be had here. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Your opinion. But this is my opinion. And maybe you agree. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think I'm absolutely waffling. But maybe I've made people turn some heads and think, hold on, he's onto something. Thank you all for tuning in. At the time of recording this, we're on 400 subscribers, so big up for that. Push for 500 now. I'm not sure when I want 500, but the moment we hit it will be brilliant. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you liked it, make sure to like and, feel free to leave a like because you liked it. And if you really liked it, there's more on the channel. There's more to come. So feel free to subscribe to make sure you got your eyes on that. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.